So what's up? We
Mm,
don't get to talk all the time, so I have no idea what your life
um,
is.
dude, I don't even know what day it was until like 2 o'clock today.
Wait, are you in school right now?
Mm-mm. I withdrew.
Like, how recent?
Mm, sorry, I was eating Skittles.
It's okay.
Um, I withdrew in 2017, spring of 2017.
Spring of
Yeah.
2017. Okay.
Wait, well, okay, 2017 in like January, if that's the spring semester, I should clarify.
Okay.
Yeah.
Were you like in school and then you're like, all right, I can't do this, and then you just
It
or
was a slow transition. Like I was at a university in St. Cloud, Minnesota.
mhm.
Um, and I was doing marketing, and then part of me was like, okay, I want to move back home closer to like my family. And so I decided to transfer back to the cities and go to like um this non-traditional 4-year college, which is like more for like people who are already in the work field. And
Oh,
so
that's different.
transferred there
Okay.
for like mm, for like a semester, and I was like, you know what, this isn't for me. But then my parents told me that if I wasn't going to school, then I had to start paying rent.
Okay.
It was like it was tricky. So it was hard for me to like I was like, do I start paying rent and not go to school because I don't want to go to school for marketing? Like I really want to be a singer. And it was this huge like clashing thing that I had going on in my life.
Okay.
Yeah.
So when you decided, I'm just like, let's try my pen. I guess when you made that decision and so you said like I want to be a singer.
Yeah, like that's what I wanted to do for a job. And um essentially it was like, why am I paying all of this money for this tuition for something I don't really care about? Like I'm just doing it because I know society tells me that I need a bachelor's degree to succeed, right?
Yeah, yeah,
That's what they're
yeah.
telling
Mm-hmm.
me. And the whole time I was studying, I hated it. I wasn't interested in the curriculum. Um, it didn't. I don't know if it's just like I didn't have that determination or like what's the word? That's not drive, but I just didn't have it in me to like put myself through that. I just
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
didn't see the end goal being worth it, I guess.
Yeah,
That's how I would describe it.
I understand. Even so, I know you've done music for as long as you could remember. So,
Yeah.
so I guess before you made that transition, where was music for you? Like, what did you see yourself doing with music at the time, or were you kind of just like, was it kind of like, okay, I don't think I'm gonna do this, or like, where was music in your life? I guess.
And when I was in college
Yeah,
or
yeah, yeah, yeah.
what
I know we got to probably talk
um
like once when you were in school and
yeah.
you were like going crazy.
Yeah, no. I was going crazy. It was hard. I felt like I was tearing myself out of my body when I was in college, if that makes sense. Like I wasn't being who I was supposed to be,
Yep,
if
totally understand.
if that makes sense.
Totally understand.
Um, where was I with my music when I was in college? Well, I was working at Target when I started college,
Hmm.
and like I loved the culture. The company culture was really cool, like what they had integrated with their employees.
Hmm.
It was like always super, like you're really fast, you're really friendly, and like you always call them guests, not customer, right? So like this huge homey feel, and like you're a very fast but efficient worker, and I loved that. And so I was like, yeah, I could work for a corporate. Like if this is what their culture is like I like the people at the store. I bet I'd love it, like in their offices. And then I had a manager who went to school for marketing, and at this point I didn't know what I wanted to go to school for, but I loved this guy so much. He was such like a an inspiration to me as a leader. Like he was very confident, very friendly, and he always wanted to help other people, and he never like shoved people around. He was just like a person who you naturally wanted to follow because of the way he was as a person. And that inspired me. I was like, I'm gonna be like him. Like I'm gonna run my own Target store, and I'm gonna
No
go
way.
for marketing because that's what he did. And so that's how it went from me doing like these YouTube videos to me focusing on like college essentially, because I had met someone who like made such a crazy impact.
We ran into another technical difficulty, so you're gonna see us jump from what she was talking about to something that I'm talking about. So sorry about that. But I'll just answer your question. So my realization and my like hardcore like I'm doing what I'm supposed to do happened in
Yeah.
February, and I pretty much asked myself like what is it, because I was also considering marketing in school and getting a degree because I was like job searching, and I was like I need bachelors for all these things, so I was like I probably
Yeah.
should go back to school for marketing. I didn't end up doing it, but I was like what am I trying to do? And I was like, well, I always tell people, and I went back to what I tell people. I was like, what do I tell people? I'm like, what are the most important times? I was like, I don't really care about accolades. I don't care about um, achieving. The only things I really remember and that really like feed me are the conversations that I have with people. It's like that's the thing. And I was like, okay. I was like, okay, so that's the thing. I like doing that. And I realized that even if I was having like a busy day, or I'm doing whatever I'm doing, if someone were to give me a call, like that's where all my focus goes. And that's never changed. It's always been a thing. I've gotten better at balancing how to handle that. I just
Hmm.
try to make sure that everything else in my life is in a good position so that I have windows like of time to give people my time. So I'm always trying to stay ahead of the curve in that sense so that I have like cushion to give time like that. Okay, so I was like, okay, then I'm just gonna do that. I'm like, I'm just gonna talk to people. I'm like, okay, now, I was like, I don't, see myself doing this in a traditional sense. I have no idea how I'm gonna do this, but I just want people to know that they can talk to me. And some people who are close to me already know that they can do that. But I was like, I'm gonna brand myself that way. And so what I did was I
I
went,
love that.
yeah, it was crazy. And then I went on Facebook, I went on Instagram, Twitter, every channel that I had, and I was just like, all right, let me fix up all these banners and like these bios and everything. So I started there, and I was like, okay, whatever. Like, hopefully this is good. Um, and I just started doing that more and just letting people know that I was there. And then eventually, like in my head, I already knew too that I wanted to be able to have sessions like this with people. I just
Hmm.
knew that I wasn't in a place to do it yet, and so I had to still practice certain things. I experimented. I did some like a lot of mental health stuff over the summer with my team. I experimented by giving them different exercises and seeing how it all turned out, and it was all really positive. And then after the summer, I think it was only in September I started doing this, and I really enjoyed it, and I haven't stopped since. And it's like one of the main things that I'm doing that is probably like the easiest thing to do right now in terms of time, because I was with the whole rebranding and doing all this stuff, I was like trying to kill it with content. I was like blogging, and I was gonna jump into doing videos and do it. I started learning how to podcast and finally learning how to use the streaming software, all this kind of stuff. And I was just trying to pump stuff out. And then when I was doing it, I was realizing I was like, this is gonna take to do it at the level I want right now. It's gonna take a lot of time, um, and I had to drop everything, and because I had to focus on making money, and that's
Hmm.
still my main
Yep.
focus.
Uh-huh.
And so I just kind of dropped pretty much everything, and I'm just focusing on the streams. And as much as it's a business move and like a career thing, it's a move for me that I'm like, as long as I have a window of time to chat with people on this level, I'll be good. Like I get that once a week, you know what I mean? So it's like something that I
Yeah.
enjoy. The same way that you might be like, I need studio time at least 3 times a week or
Yeah.
whatever. Yeah, so that's
No,
like
I
my
feel
thing
it.
right now.
Balance is important, man.
Yeah. So that's kind of where I'm at right now. Kind of the quick version. Yeah.
So you only do this one day a week, and so you're focusing on making money right now, you said?
Yeah, just like contract work, and I'm kind of waiting. I'm so the other thing. This is a little different. So I've gotten better with like social media and understanding how branding and all that kind of stuff works. Just listening
Hmm.
to Gary Vee, practicing, and then this other
Oh,
girl,
love him.
Jade, right? Yeah. So I took notes from him and this girl Jade, who's a little more. She kind of breaks down the details, and I started diving into the culture basically to understand like, oh, okay, like this isn't hard per se. Like marketing is not hard, it's just time consuming. But if you have money,
Hmm.
then it's just if you have the money to play with, then it's just seeing how you can use it to benefit you. And so I was like, well, I don't have the money. And then but I understand how this stuff works. So now I'm just sharpening those skills, and I'm actually offering it to one business. I'm helping her grow like her online presence and doing all this kind of stuff. And it's really dope because her values are the same as mine. And then a dance crew who I've rocked with for a long time. And there's somebody else, I don't remember, but that for me is going to be like my next career, that I want that to replace just the random contract stuff I'm doing.
Okay. Like,
Yeah.
would you call it like marketing consulting? Is that what would be?
I'm
Brand
not
consulting.
sure.
Yeah,
I mean, I'm like helping go all the way with like, I mean, like, wouldn't you say like consultation is more just like talking about it and just being like, here's advice? Or is it like the whole
that's true.
spiel? Because I'm doing the whole
Um,
spiel.
well, consultation, like in like what I do for car sales is like needs consultation,
Okay.
is like figuring out what they want
Okay.
and then matching up their needs and wants with the right like product.
Okay.
So
Oh,
could be consultation.
okay. So brand consultant, social media consultant, I guess you could say.
Yeah, it could
Okay.
work. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's kind of where I'm at now. I do understand it, and I better understand it if it's in, obviously my interests. So
Yeah.
holistic health and entertainment are kind of like the two things for me. Which so one place is a dance studio, and the other is obviously a dance crew. So the third one is actually I'm waiting for my friend to do his grand opening for his business. He's been having a business for a few years, and he's
Mhm.
expanding. It's a holistic health center, and I would be running some branding stuff, but mostly just like video editing. But he's
Okay.
just super open to have me on board to just attack everything, just because we vibe that way. So assuming that takes off this month, then I can shift to things that I enjoy more and do those things for a while maintaining the things that I really want to do for myself. Yeah. But so I'm really, and I've said this to you a long time ago, but now I'm more in a position to. I'm so for like just handing out the information to people. I don't really care what people do with it, or if they need help, whether it's I can do a little some to help the person, or just
Mhm.
eventually be in a position where if someone else wants to get the skills that uh, wants to work, like I don't know, say you become like bigger and you're looking for someone to kind of join your team, and
Mhm.
I'm always gonna support a friend, but one person's one person. If I don't have all the time in the world to help anyone, then I'll be like, well, here's a person that I trained or whatever. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Yeah,
no, I see where you're coming from.
yeah. So yeah, that's where I'm at. I just want to know where you're at though.
Okay.
I always say to people, I'm just like, I hear myself talk a lot because I do this a lot. So I just want to know what your story is.
Yeah. Um, where do you want to start?
Okay. Well, we might just jump around a little bit, but so with music,
Yeah.
now that or when you made that decision, what started happening?
Okay. So this is what happened. Like just backstory really quick so I feel like things will make more sense.
Okay.
When I moved back home to the cities,
Mm-hmm.
I think a huge excuse I was using, and I'm just gonna be completely raw and honest, okay?
Go.
Like I'm not a perfect person.
Mm-hmm.
A huge indicator was I wasn't doing music anymore. I was really depressed. I was not happy. I was not myself. I didn't feel good. And I was really far away from family. I didn't feel like I had enough support
Mm-hmm.
or like real people around me. And then also my boyfriend lived back in the cities. So like I'm not gonna lie and say he wasn't a part of it, but he was definitely a huge indicator as to why I moved back. But
Oh.
fast forward, we actually didn't even end up working, which worked out to my benefit because I realized that he was someone who didn't even believe that me being a singer could even be a career.
Oh hell
So
no.
it just,
Okay.
yeah, so it was more like his dream was to grow up, keep working his job, own a truck, own a nice house, have kids. And that was his dream.
Okay.
And like for so long, it sounded right for me, right? I was like,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, because when I'm in love with someone, like I want to do whatever it can to make them happy.
I see.
And I've always like changed my schedule, like changed everything around
Holy
for that
shit.
person. And it's
Okay.
not a good thing to do if they're
Okay.
not doing it for you.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so that happened. Anyway, we didn't work out. And so I was single for like that time that I was at my new school in the cities, and started doing my music again. Was really happy. Met like random people from the internet that lived in the city that I had met, like I had mutual friends with, but they also did music,
Mm-hmm.
and started going to these like weekly meetings with them just to talk about our music, which was super huge for me because I didn't even think there were people out there my age that were not like we weren't like successful, but we were just like trying to get there,
Yeah, yeah.
and I didn't know how to find these people.
Mm-hmm.
Found them like super randomly, and then um, decided that, you know what, like I want to do this because they kept telling me like, Amanda, you can do this, man, you got the talent, like you can do this. And so it was really the people I surrounded myself around that were doing the music that kind of basically told me that they believed in me, and that's all I needed to hear was just a handful of people be like, we believe in you, we know you can make it, like if anyone's going to make it out of all of us, it's going to be you, like you're going to do it. And so I was just like, okay, like I'll try it, I'll give it a shot. And I saw um I saw this, my friend started posting about how she was like doing gigs and stuff like just by singing and like selling her voice to people.
Mm-hmm.
And I was really curious how she was doing that. So I hit her up and I asked her if she could walk me through it. And she's like, yeah, I'm on soundbetter.com. Like I do work for hire vocals and stuff like that. And then this was August of 2017.
Mm-hmm.
And I like set up my profile, and this like random guy from Sweden hits me up and he's like, hey, can you cover a song? I'll pay $200 to cover this song. It's like a really well known song. It was Sorry Not Sorry by Demi Lovato. And I was like, okay, yeah, sure, whatever.
Oh.
I'll do that. And he was like, cool. We'll send you everything you need. Just like sing the vocals in your own way, and then we're going to produce everything around you. And I'm like, okay, sounds good. Like, whatever. Didn't know anything that I was doing. And they're located, I think they're located in the UK, but this guy's from Sweden. Like, he just flies around and does a bunch of shit. And
Shit.
little did I know that like just putting myself out there to even experience a different musical world that I had no idea about, right? I'm like dumb. I didn't know anything about royalties or like any of the technicalities. I was like, yeah, sure, send me $200. Yeah, I'll sing that song for you. Um, and I sent them the vocals. They sent me the money, and then a couple days later, he goes, "Hey, we just noticed that you have a YouTube. Did you want to record a cover and put it on your YouTube as well? And if you'd like, we'd like to use your artist name because we didn't know you had one, but we saw." And I'm like, "Yeah, sure, like whatever, whatever. Yeah, let's do it." Thinking that it was just a paid gig, like what my friend Bia had been doing, right? And
Yeah.
so a week passed, and he's like, "Hey, don't worry, we just uploaded everything. It should be ready to go. It's been out for a while, but it's gonna get playlisted soon. Like, don't worry, it's gonna get playlisted." I'm like, what is that? Like, what's a playlist? I had no idea. I like had no idea.
Holy shit.
Um, and then 2 weeks pass, and I'm like going viral in Japan on Spotify, going viral in Vietnam on Spotify, in the Philippines and in Brazil. I just keep hitting these viral playlists in Spotify, like top 50 in the country
Mm-hmm.
that it was going viral in. And I was just like, this is not real. Like, I wasn't expecting that.
Mm-hmm.
And everything just kind of felt right. And then I ended up realizing like everyone who told me that this wasn't attainable just never tried, I
Mm-hmm.
think is what it was. And so they just had never actually put themselves in a position to even like accept that into their life because they told themselves that wasn't possible, right?
Mm-hmm.
But once you start telling yourself that you can get certain things into your life and you allow like that energy flow, you allow, I don't know, you just are open to it, it's more willing to come into your life, if that makes sense.
Yeah, absolutely. I totally get it.
Yeah. Yeah. So it was crazy. I had no idea what I was doing. I was just like, yeah, $200, hell yeah. It was the best thing I ever did, even though it scared the shit out of me.
Shit. Oh, that's cool. What the
Very
heck?
random.
Oh, but that's dope. Okay. So the was that the Sorry Not Sorry, or was that your single? That was just Sorry
That
Not
was
Sorry.
Sorry Not Sorry.
Damn.
Yeah.
Okay. Because I was gonna get into
Hmm.
the more, I guess, recent stuff with the single and that whole world and what you've been doing.
Yeah.
Is there more?
Um, I still work with them every now and then,
Mm-hmm.
that company, but they were like the gateway that opened for me, that got like other companies and like labels attentions to reach out to me to maybe potentially do some songs with them or write for them or work with their artists. Um, and like I kid you not, like I didn't even know what law of attraction was before.
Oh shit.
Um, like before last fall, I didn't know. Like so, the Sorry Not Sorry thing, law of attraction was just like I've never approached it, never heard about it, nothing. Um, and what I didn't realize was I had been doing it the whole time that when I was back home, like when I decided to withdraw from classes, I told myself, like, I really love EDM music.
Mm-hmm.
Something about it's just really, it takes me to a different place in my mind that regular music cannot. It just
Mm-hmm.
creates a different space.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and I told myself, you know what? I'm going to be on an EDM track. Like, that is my goal. Like, if I'm going to do one thing with my music anymore, it's going to be an EDM track. Like, I'm going to do it. And it happened. I was like a feature vocalist for these EDM tracks. And that's basically kind of like what I do now for like when it's not my music. And it's amazing because it feels like a dream whenever I get to hear the final stuff that they send me.
That's so cool.
So, yeah.
That's super tight. Oh man. I like your face expression when you talk about it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't get to see I don't get to see it that kind of like I'm so about like I love listening, but like the all of this like really says something, and so when you can see
Ow.
a smile, like there are different kinds of smiles. I mean, obviously from like real and fake, but there's like other
Yeah.
layers in those realms, and I'm noticing that I don't really get to see ones like this is so weird that I don't get to see ones like yours in the sense that like I mean I get genuine smiles like oh like hey like I love you like that, but like being like excited and almost like you feel like it's unreal, and like I could see that,
Yeah.
you know what I mean, like that's crazy. It's almost like a
No,
little
I
kid
know.
smile.
Yeah, it's the smile that you do when you were a child
Hmm.
before you even knew that anything bad existed in the world,
Hmm.
right?
Hmm.
And it's cool now because when you figure out that you kind of create your own reality, then it's just kind of like you can live in the best place forever and no one can bug you about it if you try hard enough. I still get like my low days when I'm
Yeah.
like super stressed is really bad.
Yeah.
But other than that, like I have met so many amazing people in my life that I had like been waiting my entire life to meet. Um, and so it's just weird. Like I'm just super grateful. And then I'm so thankful that the relationship that I wanted to work out didn't, because it led me to this guy who was the first person outside of just like my friends who was interested in me,
Hmm.
like tried to make it work with me. And then also like he really showed initiative, and the biggest thing was like he was like my biggest supporter. He was like, anything you do, you can set your mind to, you're gonna do it, like you're gonna achieve it. And I'm just like, what are you talking about? Like I want to be a singer. He goes, yeah, and you're gonna be a fucking bomb ass singer, and you're gonna go on tour. And he said all this shit like within the first month of dating.
Yeah.
And I was just like, how can you believe in me so much? And we were around his friends, and his friends were just like, he believes in you so much because like he sees that you believe in yourself that much. Otherwise, he wouldn't say that stuff. And I don't know. There's a saying that like the people you surround yourself with are like little parts of you,
Hmm.
so you could see that. And that like really resonated with me. So I like made it really a really big thing. Like the people that I hang out with, they have to be good people. Like otherwise, you kind of get sucked into this really bad vortex of like energy sucking people. Um, but yeah, so he was really great. He's like my current boyfriend. He's deployed right now, but
Yeah.
even like from a million miles away, this dude will like find ways to make sure he knows that I'm like this all powerful bitch that can like do whatever she wants. But yeah,
That's cute. Oh
Thanks.
man. Oh shit. Okay. Um. So what? I guess actually maybe we can turn the clock around even further. Just jumping. So I don't. I was gonna make time to actually prepare questions, but I feel like I already have it all kind of like in my soul. Okay, so from you could literally say the YouTube days, like YouTube Prime days of
Mhm.
like kind of all that stuff when it was still kind of like new versus now. I guess what was going on in your head before with music, and we had talked a
When
long time ago about random stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
So when I was like really into my YouTube stuff, I was just really lonely. That was literally it.
mm,
I didn't really have many friends in person. My mom, I think my YouTube really took off when I moved my senior year. So this was 2012, 2013. Sorry.
mhm.
2012, 2013. And I had moved from like this suburb that I was a cheerleader. I did competition cheer. Like I sang at all the pet fests. Like everyone seemed to already like known me. I was established in my school, right? And then my parents lost the house. My mom was really sick, and we had to like uproot everything. We moved from like our nice 5 bedroom home in the suburbs to this two, I would call it like a 2.5 bedroom trailer home.
Okay.
Like essentially, the room that I was living in was like the size, like an oversized utility closet, is what it felt like. But the weird thing was, like, I was really lonely. I didn't know anybody. So I was like, I'm just going to record a shit ton of videos because I only have like friends over the internet now. So what better way, right? So I started recording videos, posting them on YouTube, and then I had made this decision that I was going to become exactly what I was at my last school, but I wanted everyone at this school to know my name. I don't know. I was like
No, it's
crazy
it's
or
it's all good.
something.
It's all good. I understand that.
And so first month at this new school at the small ass town. Okay, everybody grew up with each other since they were like in kindergarten, and then there's this new girl, only Asian person in my graduating class, or Asian girl in my graduating class, and I was student of the month the very first month at that school.
Shit.
Yeah, yeah, but I don't know what it was, if I was desperate for attention or desperate for like human connection or what, but like I just kind of music was the only thing I was good at, and it seemed to bring people toward me. So it was just kind of what I used.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah,
Okay. Wow.
yeah. Those are the YouTube days.
That's crazy. Oh man. Um, I'm just like I'm trying to take notes. This is a new thing I'm trying to do, so I don't forget the topics when I write stuff later. Um, I had another question. Oh, um, I was just looking at it too. Your the Just a Game song.
Oh yeah.
What was that like? That whole process.
Um, I have a handful of songs that I produced by this guy. His name is Liam, or
Okay.
he goes by, I think it's Boy Blue Baby or Baby Boy Blue. I don't know because he had to like switch it around for his username, but his name is Liam,
Mhm.
and he worked with Isabel when we were 18,
Okay.
when she did her EP, and that's essentially how like I got to meet him. And he's a super talented guy from New Jersey who didn't really go too much in school with like all the production stuff. I think it's just like a natural gift that he has to like hear what sounds good with voices and like can piece everything together perfectly. Um, but his process was, I have an acoustic version of the song that I have on a voice memo. I like play through the whole song exactly how I want it to be time wise.
Mhm.
He'll take the voice memo, the raw voice memo, and he'll throw it into his like application, and then he creates the bass, or not the bass, but the instrumental, that what he thinks would sound really good, but
Mhm.
also like my input on what I wanted it to be like.
Mhm.
Um, and it was a huge back and forth type thing. It was definitely like a, if I could describe the process, it was a teamwork process.
Mm-hmm.
Like we really had to be on the same page. Um, because you're taking one idea from my head and one idea from his head, and we're trying to mesh it together. And
Yeah.
so you had to be very descriptive.
Mm-hmm.
But that song, and I wrote it, came from this guy who I met over the summer,
Mm-hmm.
who said he liked me and like led me on to believe that he was interested in me. This was between the ex-boyfriend and my current boyfriend.
Okay.
And
I see.
he all of a sudden one day was just like, you know what? Like, I'm so sorry. I'm just really desperate. And I guess like I don't really like you that way. And I'm like, the fuck? Like, are you fucking kidding me? Is it okay to swear? I'm
Yeah, yeah,
sorry.
yeah, yeah. No, it's all good. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. And I was like pissed, like genuinely like super heartbroken because I really like this dude. And then really pissed. So I was like, wrote the song to kind of get my emotions out. And it was like a Are You In? Oh no. Um, that's a different song. This one's just a game.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's just a game. Like that's basically what it was to him. I was just his
Okay.
game. He was bored and I was just this person he fucked around and like fucked over. Anyway.
Damn. Okay.
Yeah, that's
Um,
that song.
what? What's the, I guess, the shortest, or how quickly have you written a song?
Like 30 minutes.
Okay.
Yeah. It just depends. A lot of the songs I write come from like freestyles. Like when I'm really deep in my feelings,
Mm-hmm.
I'll just like go at it and it just like spits out. And I'm already like on a voice memo. So I just go back and write everything that I wrote.
Yeah.
Or I type it up and then I just go back and learn what I just sang out loud. Just
Okay. That's dope. Jesse, one of my students, just said that's fast. Well, that's like the fastest, but I'm sure some other
yeah,
songs
that's
take longer times. Yeah.
mm,
Yeah. Just wondering.
I've
Some.
had songs that took a long ass.
I feel you. Um, I don't know if you saw any previous comments or
I no, I didn't. Why?
no. Just I mean, I don't know if Tony's still in here, but he just got excited because you were here.
Oh yeah, I did see that.
um, what's my other question? If I had. Um, so I guess with music, and you know you said you did the EDM thing. Do you see like what exactly you want from music? And I asked this in so coming from a place where I knew that I enjoyed dance and I felt like I knew how far I wanted to go with it and it started changing a little bit. But being where I am today, I know exactly what I want from it. Like exactly. And I don't see myself doing certain things within that realm. So there are certain parts of it that I keep and that I enjoy a lot. So like with music, with all the different aspects from writing to I don't know if you've I'm sure like have you done any sort of production of any kind? Like
But
even
when
with
you say production, like what do you mean?
or just like making well okay no you play acoustic and stuff like that. Like have you I guess like made your own beats or anything? Mixing, mastering,
Mm-mm.
none of that stuff. Okay. So yeah, so what do you I guess see yourself doing with music? Either all the different avenues that you think you want to take, or would love to take, um, or just something very specific. I mean, that's a weird question.
No, I think I can understand what question you're asking.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Same thing with like how you said you love dance, but there's certain things that you just like you're not gonna do in it, even though you love it.
Mm-hmm.
I can relate in a way where like when I was younger, I wanted to be famous, or
Yeah.
like I feel like that was really the only idea put out there if you're gonna be a singer.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but if I could just make a livable income to cover my bills, my like expensive and like cost of living, And like my what it is, I like wrote it last year when I started practicing law of attraction. It was, I'm gonna make enough money from my music to cover all my bills, um, and my fun stuff. I forgot the word I used, but it was like for the extra stuff. Like I want to go on a trip to Japan. It's gonna cover that.
Yeah.
And so that's what I wanted. So anything, just like music, I'd write it and I'll sing for it. But I don't want this crazy responsibility of having to keep up an image because that sounds really tiring and like a lot. But I would love to write for other people, and I would love to do demo vocals for people when they need it, and I would love to sing on low key tracks. And if they blow up, cool, but never to a point where I'm like an Ariana Grande type of person, if that makes sense.
I do. Yeah, I totally understand. Okay.
Like, you like Shy Martin?
I love Shy Martin.
She writes for
Oh,
like the biggest people out there,
oh,
but she also has her own little artistry going on, and like that's what I want.
I was gonna bring her
That
up
would
too. Yeah.
yeah.
Okay. Um, I was gonna ask what what are demo vocals? I don't know what that is.
Yeah, so there are other songwriters out there who can write songs, but they don't sound good singing their own songs.
Okay.
So before they pitch the song to a label or see if they want to buy their song or use their song, they have to find someone who has a decent voice to sing the song that they have written. And so they would hire me to be the singer on the song before the song even has a real singer on it, just to demonstrate the
Oh,
vocals.
I never knew that was a thing. Yeah, I think you have some questions and stuff. A little bit.
Yeah, I'm like, I see them.
Yeah, you can answer them. It's a whole part of the thing. That's like the little bonus.
Okay, so how many songs have I made? I think I have, okay, I have made, I want to say like 12. Um, wait, okay, of my own original stuff and collaborations, like not covers, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I want to say 12 that
Mm,
are not covers. Only half of them are released though, right now.
mm.
Um, and would you ever consider auditioning for The Voice? Okay, I have. And funny story, this is like, you got to stay really true to yourself because otherwise you're going to find yourself 10 steps backwards. But they're not exactly what you think they are. And it's all reality TV. So last summer, this summer, no, last summer,
Hmm.
I auditioned for The Four, and I got past the auditions to the point where they wanted to take me to Hollywood. But the only thing that was stopping them to taking me there is like the lady called me up and she's like, "Hey, Amanda, we love everything about you. Your voice is amazing. It's what we want on TV, but we just got to do something about your hair and your outfit and the way you dress, right?" And I was just like in the car with my friends and I'm on the phone and I'm like, "This is amazing." They basically said I was great except for everything on the outside, right? And so I told her with all respect, okay, because like she's just doing her job, but
Yeah.
like, thank you so much for the opportunity. But like literally what you saw in that video is exactly what you're gonna get when you see me in person. And
Mm.
like, and I just like keep me in mind for other opportunities, but I don't think that this is gonna be a good fit because that's like a huge charade you got to keep up, and it's just not worth the time, I
Yeah.
think.
Okay.
Yeah. So there was that, which was really interesting. Um, so yeah, I would consider it if they took me for who I was, and I don't think they'd do that. But um,
Damn. Of course. Of course.
when you started sharing music, were you scared of what others would think, or did you not care? Funny story. I was banned from the internet to even like put anything about myself out there. My parents like hated it. They were so against it. I got grounded multiple times because of it when I was like 10 or 11.
Mm.
Um, and then one day my cousins started posting YouTube videos and they were singing and they would like brag about it. They're like, "Oh my gosh, like I got this many views and I did this and I did this." Like, you can't do that. And I was like, "Watch me." And so like completely disregarded what my parents said, posted a bunch of videos. I did really well, so they just stopped bugging me about it. And they're like, okay, fine, it's working. Like, you're doing something you love. You're kind of good at it. Okay, whatever, just keep doing it. And um, I afraid of what people thought? I think I was so young and so absorbed in my own world that I didn't care what internet people thought because they didn't really exist to me. They were just like
Wow.
random people that were watching my videos, I
Yeah,
guess. And so
yeah.
if someone said something really negative, it was just kind of like, okay. But when it came to like my parents or like my family and like what they thought, my friends, it mattered a lot. Um, my mom is my biggest critic. Like I love her to death, but she's so honest. Like she'll tell me straight up, she's like, your song is so freaking boring. Like why would you even work on something like that? Like it's so boring. You need to write things that are more happy or like more energetic. And I'm just like, I tried so hard to do that, but like I was never happy, so I couldn't.
Oh
but
my god.
but yeah, I don't know if that answered it.
That's awesome though. She can do it because she's being someone else and you're being yourself. Yes, girl. Wow, that's dope. Most people are like, that's crazy that I guess you would have that mentality already, but coming from like I feel like an innocent place, not like a gotta brush the haters off type thing. Because you said you were young and you're kind of like in your own world, so that was cool. That's
Yeah,
different. Yeah, that's really different.
I was. I didn't even. I was very privileged growing up. Like I came from a family that really loved me. Like they told me to love me every single day, hugged me all the time, gave me kisses goodbye, kisses hello. Like my parents loved me very much. And so I think um it it made me feel, I don't know, it just made the world around me seem like a better place than it was. So when I started entering like my high school years, and like my middle school to high school years, it started getting really weird because kids are mean and like
I see.
yeah, and so it was just, I don't know, it's hard to explain. But I was a very loved child, so I don't really have much to complain about with my family. I think it
Hmm.
was more of just like the person that I was and how I decided to perceive the world outside of my house that got kind of like, that made me like so sad, I guess.
Mm.
That makes
No, it does. It does. It does. Um, this is completely random. I mean,
yeah.
I don't think there's any. Honestly, there's like you can only do your best as like parents, whether you're great parents or bad parents. But just talking to so many people and having my own experiences, like some people will grow up in like the worst backgrounds or run away from stuff, but end up being like a phenomenal human being. Some people get so much love and become the worst human beings or extremely spoiled, or
Hmm.
but it's just like I don't know. There's no really wrong way to do it. I know as a parent, if not, well, not really if I'm always thinking about like adopting before having my own kid. But whenever that day, if that day comes, um, I would try and have this weird abnormal balance with my kid where there's like lots of love, and then there's like the other side where it's kind of just not necessarily neglect, but just like hardcore independence.
Yeah.
At a very young age, just because everything happens when they're young. So if they're gonna cry, I'm like, well, you're gonna cry. And other times I'd be like, all right, you cry, like I love you, like you know what I mean? Because I don't know. I
Yeah.
think I want to try and be the world for them while they're only exposed to me. So giving them that like
Yeah.
the real deal. I don't know any parents who have really ever attempted that, but yeah, I don't know. That's just a random thought.
No, that's okay. I think that's exactly how I'd love my kid too, like raise my kid.
Mm,
I need my kid to be independent because I think that was one thing I did lack was independence.
mm,
I'm very like I need my family or like I need my mom or like I need my sister or I need somebody in my corner in order to function.
oh
And so
shit.
um
Okay,
so I like that support. But I
that's
wonder
nice.
because my boyfriend is someone who's like very independent. He doesn't really need his mom or dad because he just
Mm,
like emotionally doesn't need that. And it's just weird because he's a very efficient human being and it's
mm.
very weird. Um or he's a psychopath. Either way, I don't know. Just kidding. Just kidding. He's kind of
um, yeah, there's some questions for you, and then I have some
Where can I find your songs? I want to hear some. Can you sing for us? Um, if you search Amanda Yang on Spotify or Apple Music or YouTube, you'll find my music. Can I sing for you? I don't know. Do you have a song? um, and then how old was I? Okay, I was officially, I had a hidden channel, didn't tell anybody about, and I was 11. But then I ended up getting in trouble, so I had to delete everything.
Oh
So
shit.
then I re-officially did my YouTube again when it was 2009, ninth grade. I think it was 14. And it was Marry You by Bruno Mars. And then, okay, if you jump back to 2009, it's like when things started like rolling for YouTube, right? Or like they started getting really, really big. And I kid you not, Jason Chen had um, inboxed me because one of our mutual friends, Ken, was shot him my video and was like, "This is going to be the next big thing. Like, you need to do a cover with her." But I was only 14 and I didn't know what a mic was. I was recording with an iPod, so
Yeah,
like
yeah, yeah.
he kept asking me about all this technical stuff, and I got scared. I was just like, I don't know how to do any of that stuff. I'm just like, I don't know. Um, but that was a cool encounter. Like looking back, um, it's kind of weird how like the world has its ways of nudging you in the right direction, even when you have no idea that it's happening.
That's pretty wild when you say it like that. Yeah. Um, the
Back.
the person Voots13 is one of my friends. He's a local friend. He, I feel like so me and him have been like not close or anything per se. Just we've known each other for a while. And he's always been into music. I think if I recall correctly, like he kind of just started putting stuff up. I don't know his
Okay.
story like at all. So when he asked for a feature, I'm sure he's like half serious. But
Are you serious or half serious? Because that's the question I would like to know. And then also like, um, I'm currently I like have to keep track mentally of all the stuff that I'm doing with my music.
yeah, of
Um,
course.
but I have to. I think I'm three songs right now. So he would have to wait a minute. But then also there was some other stuff on the back end that we would talk to in private if he really does want a feature.
Yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah, of course. Um,
If you're listening, oh my gosh. Okay. See, I think I know it. It goes, thought I'd end up with Sean, but it wasn't a match. Wrote some things about Ricky. Now I listen and laugh. Said something to Malcolm because he was an angel. One taught me love, one taught me patience, one taught me pain. That shit's amazing. I've loved and I've lost. That's not what I. Look what you taught me, and for that I say thank you. Next, thank you. Next,
hey,
next, thank you. Next, I'm so fucking grateful for my ex. Thank you. Next, thank you. Next. Yeah, that's a cool song. I like that song a lot.
I've heard it like once, so I have to peep that song again.
It's a good song to get you through your exes for sure.
Oh, okay.
It's empowering.
I'll be all right. It's so amazing.
Thank you.
Jesse and Megan, they're actually two of my students. Any of my students who like go out of their way to like really start jumping into all the stuff I do, I'm like, yeah. And it's not like a me thing. And I've said this on stream once. I was like, it's more of like a, because my job is to teach them how to move and to give them routines and stuff. But I
Hmm.
always spill in a little more. And so when they can find their way into all the stuff that I'm doing, I'm just like, yo, and you're getting the real stuff now, you know? So it's just nice. Um, so because I'm trying to be an efficient human being and it's almost 8, I have to wrap up, even though I don't want to. But I'm sure you have lots of things to do.
I just have one more training to do. Yeah, but that's okay. I'm excited to finish up.
Hmm,
I'm ready.
that's
I'm ready to be
good.
done with that training
That's good. That's good.
for work.
Um, well, I'll leave you with what I try and tell the world, which is like, if you ever need anything, I'm on the internet, I know. But even if it's like small windows of time, whether it's if you have like whether it's ranting, because that's cool too. Like I fucking hate this person, and you send me that text, I'll be like, cool, right? That's cool too. Any ideas if you want to build something or just to talk and to share stuff. Um, that's kind of just aside from me being myself and me personally enjoying that. It's almost like I have so many stories because I've talked to so many people. So then it's just like collecting stories and then just sharing them in a way when the timing is good. So what's
Mhm.
dope about doing a stream now and then having a few people on here and just I know the like how they're taking it in. Like for some people, asking those specific questions, it's like for them, it's like a confidence thing. Like, oh, like, well, when did you start this? Because like I'm probably terrified to do certain things, and like I just want to know. Um, or seeing the whole thing with the voice, and it's like, yes, you did take your shot, but then you give them insight on like, wow, the world can be. So it's just having those stories like now it's documented, but then also just having it with me to kind of share with others when the timing is right. So like I know musicians who just don't, you know what I mean? It's like, oh, and then I introduce them to like your music, and they're like, oh wow, she's great, and I'm like, her story though, I was like, you don't know her story. And I'm like, dude, like she struggled too, and like she figured it out, like that kind of stuff. So I become like that thing for people. So if you need anything, uh got you. And it's like with social media and stuff, like if you I don't know how much you've dived into that stuff, so I've learned I call it algorithm hacking. There's no cheat code or anything. It's just time. So that's kind of like really my lane right now. So if you need any technical advice, um, I could just give you what I know, or if there's something to like learn or research, and there's that. I'm just willing to help in whatever way I can, because I give my time to people anyway. Um, and if I'm gonna help someone who that I've always believed in. Um, you know what I mean? So like that to me is a great thing. If I'm able to provide certain things to someone so that they can elevate to the next level because I believe in the person and what they're doing, I think that makes a lot of sense. You know what I mean? I don't know if that.
Hmm.
Yeah, yeah,
No, that makes sense. I know exactly what you're talking about because that's literally what having people around me that believed in me is what got me into the place. So you need people like that, but also
yeah.
like right back at you. Like if there's anything you need that I can do,
Okay.
you gotta, you have to actually spam me with text because I'm so like,
Oh,
I'm
spam
not
text.
even kidding you. Yeah, you have
Okay.
to spam text me.
Okay.
That's how I know it's serious, like super serious. So my friends do. Like Amanda, 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 and they just continue their sentences every text, like every message. So I get the notification. So,
Okay. For
oh
sure.
yeah,
Okay.
right.
How's
All
it?
right. Well, enjoy the rest of your interviews. I
Mm.
mean, conversations.
Thank you. Yeah, I love these. Um,
So do I just like press end?
Yeah, and then it'll be all over. And you could always watch it
Okay.
again. You could share it to people. In the future, we're looking to like learn how to not learn how to, but start micro contenting stuff. So this is
Okay.
like macro content, and I just don't have time for micro content. Um,
I feel
so yeah, this stuff will be
it.
up. It'll be up on Twitch right away for like
Okay.
14 days, and then yeah,
And you're gonna upload it to Facebook?
and then it'll sit on there for like ever until
Okay.
Facebook goes away. Yeah.
I'll share that.
Okay.
All right. Have a great night. I'm gonna go eat a pickle.
Okay. You too.
Goodbye.
Bye.